Okay, so here's a quick little look at our newest template design called Stitched. So there's nothing too crazy going on in here, but we did leverage smart objects for some of the text elements in here. So I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough to show how easy it is to make these changes and kind of best practices for keeping everything kind of lined up and configured as we have it here. So let's just start. We'll scroll down at the bottom. We'll start from the bottom. The first place I'd like to point out here is this layer called the nameplate. And so the nameplate, like in this setup here, is the last name for the subject. And so to change this is text, but it's text formatted as a smart object so that we can keep our shape and kind of graphic elements that we have set up here. So to edit this smart object, all we're going to do on the layer thumbnail is we're going to double click on this little corner icon here. So what that's going to do is going to pop open a new document window, and in that is just the text layer that we have, just formatted as plain text. So from here we could just double click and edit this like any other text. So I'll put my last name in here. Now, one thing with the canvas size that's set, I would recommend fitting your text within this canvas, and that's going to allow the shape to stay in the same format once we save this. So what I'm going to do is just Control or Command T to resize this. I'm going to hit Control or Command 0 to zoom out so I can see our box here, and then I'll shift drag until that fits within our canvas. Click the check mark to apply, and now all we have to do is close this window. It's going to ask if we want to save changes. Say yes, and now it updates this, keeps the shape and everything. So that's one of the beauties of the smart object. So that's the first spot where we have this smart object being used. And of course from here you could always grab the nameplate, grab this texture layer, go to our move tool, and we could move this to kind of shift around. So that easy on that one. So the next spot here is on our bottom banner. So we got our banner here in this group, so we're going to expand the group, and if we scroll down, there's a layer here labeled banner background text, and you've got a note here, edit the smart object to change the text. So this is the same kind of deal. We're going to go into the smart object by double clicking the layer thumbnail, and so we can see the text here. It's already got some angles on things to get it up to that kind of funky perspective that it's been set up as. But we're just going to edit this text, so double click here, we'll put some new text in, and we'll apply, and again we'll see the text falls a little bit outside of this canvas, so I'm just going to resize, Command or Control T, Command or Control 0 to zoom out to our bounding box, and then I'm just going to grab the Shift key and move that in until it's just inside the canvas. Click Apply, close this window. When it asks to save, I'm going to say yes, and that's going to update, and it's going to the reason we want to keep it inside that canvas is so that all of this shape and angle and everything all fits with the way that this has already been set up. Because you'll see if we do a transform on this layer, I've got some funky angles and things placed to get this perspective to line up here. And so again, the beauty of the smart object is we can update that text, and it's going to keep the layer style effects and things I have applied, so this looks transparent or looks like it's worn onto this material and things like that. So the beauty of the smart objects. And so one last place is the year. We have kind of this graphical year set up here. Now the year looks a little funky because there's 3 layers for the year. So let's turn a couple of these off. So the first one is just the year as a text smart object itself. The one above that is some texture getting applied. So we can zoom in here and take a look. We're applying some texture to that year. And then the top one is a year, basically the effect to again allow that worn texture to kind of show through. Okay, but now we don't have to update the year if we want to change this, say, to 2020. We don't have to update this in both spots. These smart objects are linked together. So you can see, edit smart object to change text. We're going to do that, and you could technically do this from either of these year smart objects, again, because they're tied together. So I'm just going to pick one here. I'm going to jump in here, edit the text. We'll set this to 2020 and apply it. You could change your colors right from here. So if we wanted to make this red, we could go into our stroke line. We can make that red as well. Click OK. So when we close this document window, save it, you're going to see it's going to apply everything. It's going to keep the layer style effects that we have. If we want to move it, we can just shift grab all these year layers, switch to our move tool, and you could arrow over or drag, whatever you'd like to do to reset that. So easy as that, but there are, if you're not familiar with smart objects, could be a little gotchas in there, so just wanted this little video to help walk you through all that.